This video will show you how the mean and standard deviation affect the shape and location of the normal distribution. So if you look back in the notes, you'll see the density function for the standard normal distribution. So if we go back here and look at the normal distribution, is a complicated looking function that has sigma, which is the standard deviation, and mu, which is the mean. So the mu is what determines the location or the center of the distribution, and sigma determines how spread out the distribution actually is. So sigma is the standard deviation, and when we have a larger standard deviation, it means values are more likely to be observed further from the mean. And when the standard deviation is smaller, it means we would expect to observe more observations close to the mean. So if we change mu and sigma, we should be able to see how the distribution actually changes. So when we look at this, this is the normal distribution assuming a mean of 0 and a standard deviation of 1. So this is the standard normal distribution. And if we increase that standard deviation, so we make it keep mu the same, increase the standard deviation, notice the distribution gets flatter and more spread out. So we're more likely to observe values further from the mean when the standard deviation gets larger. So if we go back here to a standard deviation of 1, it's very unlikely we observe anything that's less than 5. That's actually, if it's standard normal, it's very unlikely to observe anything less than -3 or greater than +3. So -5, less than -5, greater than +5, it's unlikely we observe values that extreme. But if we keep the mean the same and we increase the standard deviation to 4.5, notice we're now even much more likely to observe values less than -5 or greater than +5, because those values are now only, for example, if we go all the way to 5, -5 is only one standard deviation below the mean. So now we would expect to observe about 68% of values to be between -5 and 5. Where if the standard deviation is 1, we expect to observe about 68% of the values between -1 and 1. So if we keep the standard deviation the same but we change the mean, all that's going to do is shift the shape, the location of that distribution. So notice the shape stays the same, but the location changes. So if we have a mean of -2, notice the distribution is now centered around -2. If we have a mean of 8, now the distribution is centered around 8. So if you change the mean, the location changes. If you change the standard deviation, the shape changes. The larger sigma is, the flatter and more spread out the distribution is going to be. The smaller the standard deviation, the taller and narrower the distribution is going to be. So mu shifts the location, sigma shifts the shape.